Okay, Rob's here now.
What's up?
What's up, Rob?
How's it going?
It's good. I mean, it's nice to see you because we don't really see each other as much anymore.
Yeah, it was nice when you were you were in North Brunswick, but you're always in my basement, so it was always pretty cool to go wake up, have your morning coffee. Hey Joe, how's it going?
Yeah. And then when you moved, when you were in Clifton, I was living in Bloomfield.
That's right. We didn't actually we hung out enough, but we didn't hang out that much because I was still in school and you were either on tour down here or all over the place.
Yeah. When I was going to William Patterson, I was driving down here to play basement shows in New Brunswick.
I had to book you just to hang out with you.
I mean, but those shows at the Hooeyman, right?
Yeah, the Hooeyman up in Clifton. I miss that house. That was a real fun show house.
Yeah.
It was fun because it wasn't like a show going crowd. It was mostly Montclair State students, and you just get a keg and then it's basically a party with bands. But it's almost like when you don't tell them that there's bands playing, they're almost like, ooh, bonus, and then they actually go to the basement because they want to see what's going on.
Yeah.
But no, we always had a good draw. We even had people walk through snowstorms and whatnot because I think it was just because Montclair was a dry campus and they didn't like anything fun going on. So I guess oops, we were the bad house.
It got pretty wild most of the time too.
It used to be the swim team house, so we kind of had a lot of the swim team and had a lot of the people that would just go to parties at their house. They would hear about, be like, oh, I've been there before.
Yeah.
Not realizing it was filled with punks and whatnot.
Yeah. No, yeah, there's some really good shows there too. And I mean, when the New Brunswick saga for our circle of friends ended, it kind of picked up at your place, I felt like, and I was always grateful for that,
I mean, it was kind of just a need. I moved into a house with complete strangers,
but you're the person. That's the thing. You're the guy to be like, hey, isn't music fucking awesome? We're gonna have house shows and it's gonna be awesome, and we're gonna you're a good person to throw a party.
I was really walking on eggshells with it. I didn't know what any of these people were like.
Yeah.
So I'd be peering in the door like a cartoon, it's okay if I have a few people over at a band and just a keg and a party, or just it's just a small thing on Saturday.
Live music concert. Yeah.
But they were all about it immediately because I think some of them may have seen it as, oh, I don't have to throw the party this time, and the other ones were just down. They were. It was a very fun house to live in for most of that time, and
yeah.
It made it very easy to do shows. We didn't really have issues with the police up there.
No, it's a good area.
I think they stopped by for one show, and they let us finish it anyway. They're just like, okay, that's fine, whatever.
Yeah.
And we had neighbors that were the loud people on the block, so having bands blast until midnight was never a problem.
Yeah, that's great. When you were running shows on Lewis Street, what was the name of the house?
So the house went through a lot of name shifts. It was we wanted to call it Camp Onawana at first.
Yeah.
And we couldn't quite meet up with an agreement between upstairs and downstairs.
That's a Salute Your Shorts reference?
Yeah, Salute Your Shorts.
Yeah.
But it was right around that time where we couldn't call a house the same thing for more than one show.
Yeah.
So I guess you could call it that, or you could call it Nar City, as I went by after it didn't matter anymore and I was running the house again. But for that time period, it was kind of just Ask a Punk. So all the flyers said Ask a Punk, and it basically is how you had to find shows. You had to just ask people. It was all word of mouth, even with the internet, because everyone was worried about cops like you coming out and wrecking our fun.
Big hot busts, yeah, fucking coming down. Yeah, especially that Lewis Street area. There were cops that would come quite a bit.
It was weird because there was real crime on that street. A body turned up on the corner while I was living there.
Dude, I was going to see Slingshot Dakota, and they're like, we have to stop the show. Someone just got shot outside. A kid on a fucking bike.
Dude,
fucked up.
One time we were there, it was just a Friday or a Saturday, some just random night, and nothing was going on. And then all of a sudden, I dropped my friend off, and I got home, and all of a sudden there had been a shooting in the house across the street from me. And I guess they had a party first. And I thought it was I didn't think something was actually going on. I thought my roommates were messing with me, but apparently they heard the bullet ricochet off of the house in the alley and all hit the deck. So I'm kind of glad for my anxiety's sake that I didn't actually witness that. But it was actually kind of funny because shortly after I showed up, all the cops showed up. I was like, oh shit, there actually was a shooting here. And I got a phone call from Tommy from Nor at the time, and I answer the phone, and he's like, yo, Rob, what are you up to? There's a party at the house across the street. I was like, Tommy, there's a shooting at the house across the street. He's still in there just drinking the keg, thinking the party's lame or something.
my
And
God.
there's like cops shining flashlights looking for bullet casings or a shooter or something.
That's awesome, dude.
But that's what living at Lewis Street was like. It was
It still is, I think. We're just not there now.
yeah, it was like that part that was still technically Rutgers because the Ale and Witch was there, and at the time McCormick's was within that walking path.
Yeah.
But it was like dipping your toes into some of the more dangerous and like gang areas of New Brunswick.
Yeah.
So, stuff happened on that street.
And it's only that stretch of Lewis Street. If you go up more, like when it goes to Cortland and loops around, like it's
Yeah,
like
the
kind of
closer you get to the hospital, it starts to be a safer area again. But, if you head towards like French Street and around there, if you're a college student, I know people that have been mugged in that area. My buddy Chris actually got jumped and had his Nintendo DS stolen there.
that fucking sucks.
Yeah, and it's like, it actually happens like way closer to the college than you would think.
Yeah.
It's, Rutgers has a pretty nice veneer.
It's wild that we stayed relatively safe and like kind of out of trouble. I mean, like I wasn't up to that much shit besides like playing shows, but like for the amount of partying and stuff, like nothing really too bad ever happened.
Yeah, I got my car broken into once. I'm smashed open my window, but like all things considered, nothing like in terms of like physical harm coming to me or my friends or anything like that. Nothing beyond college drama ever really occurred.
Like we had our head stolen, our PA head stolen.
Oh, I remember that.
Remember you found it at the fucking trading post?
I was just like, I was just out looking for cheap gear because I had no money and bands I wanted to be in.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh shit, that's Joe's. That's Joe's.
Yeah.
And they wouldn't give up. We all, I'm not gonna say names. We all know who took it, but they wouldn't say it. So
eventually, the guy kind of hinted at it when I guessed. Like after like 10 names, he was like, "That might be the person." And then like you had confronted the person because we were at a party, right? And that person was there, and you were like, "Yo, Gabe and Joe are here," and they know you took their PA head and pawned it off must have pawned it for like $40. And the person went up to me, of course, didn't go up to Gabe because they know Gabe would have fucking rocked the shit out of them, and was like, I know, look, I'm so sorry. Like, I was with these guys and they had knives and they told me to do it. And look, if you want to punch me in the face right now, like, you totally can. And I didn't, like, because I don't.
That won't accomplish anything.
Yeah, like, looking back now that it's been, like, 6 years and I still haven't gotten money, like, I'm, like, salty about it. But, like, hitting him wouldn't have done anything. It would have just brought more negativity to it, I guess. I kind of just have to eat it. Like,
if anything, if there was ever going to be a level of closure from someone who gets himself into a situation like that, you're definitely not going to be on good terms if you like punch them. It's at the same time. It's not going to solve anything. You're already in a bad situation. It'll just make it worse.
Yeah.
It's just not the answer.
And there's bigger problems out there to have than like losing $100 because a kid. The shitty thing was that they pawned the PA head because they know we were running shows. Like they know like this is a spot. The garage isn't locked. They've booked my band.
He's used that PA to play shows.
That was the greasy part.
In that basement, so he knew it was there.
Yeah, but I think
it's sad.
He's probably using and like hey he does have a lot of problems. I every 18 months I hit him up like, are you ever gonna pay me back? And I'll get silence or I'll get, sorry bro, things are real tough. And like it's silly of me to keep trying, but I'm gonna try forever probably.
Yeah, well I mean at the time like when you're in college, no one has money, so. Everyone was passing around the PA like, "Yo, are you doing a show this? Can I use your PA, please?
Yeah, and we always
I'll buy your band's merch if you let me use your PA."
Yeah, and we would totally lend it out too. It's just, oh man, what are you gonna do?
It's just one of those things that just becomes a story at that point.
Yeah, exactly. Something for me to complain about.
But that was Lewis Street. Things like that happened. One of the most ridiculous things that happened was, so I was bartending down the street from there at the time. And,
where were you bartending?
McCormick's.
Oh yeah, you were.
I think me and Nick are the reason that they started having shows there too.
Yeah, that was rad. They're gone now, right?
They are.
What building was that?
That is I think I drove past it like a year ago and looked at it, but I keep like just not being near it. It either got knocked down or renovated. I don't know. It might still be there.
Yeah.
I just haven't seen it long enough and the way things change.
It was on Hamilton Street?
Yeah, it was all the way down Hamilton past the hospital.
Yeah.
But we'd always like bartend kind of late and we'd get out at I guess like usually around 3 a.m. by the time everything's cleaned up and we're heading home. And sometimes if we had our friends there, we'd let them hang out. So we all went to my house one time, and my buddy says, "Hey, my friend's gonna stop by. He owes me some money." So I was like, "Okay, yeah, that's fine." I mean, we'd all been drinking all night at work. I don't care. Like, yeah, invite people over at my house at 3 in the morning. I'm actually okay with this.
Yeah.
At that time in my life, I totally was. I was like,
Sure.
I was like, I went to military school, so I had the worst FOMO when I moved to New Brunswick. I just didn't want to miss out on anything. So
Yeah.
I was like, I was ready to party all the time.
Is that when your name was dubbed, or did it happen earlier?
We can get to that.
Okay.
That was right around that time.
Yeah.
That was a big silly joke. But we so he said, I was like, yeah, sure, your buddy can stop by, and he didn't tell me his buddy was a dozen Bloods.
Oh my God.
So I was just like, yeah, just come on up. And all of a sudden my house is filled with gangsters, and I was just like, I don't think I realized it at the time. I found out after they left. I just kind of like mini shat myself because, well, first off, they were all very nice. It was awesome, actually.
That's good.
But afterwards, I was just like, wait, what? you didn't tell me your friend was a dozen Bloods, man. Come on.
Surprise. Yeah.
Well, at least you did a good job of not frightening me. But,
Yeah. At least they were a nice guest.
They were. It was a pretty good experience.
You never know what kind of shit you're gonna get into, I guess.
But the whole Rob Gnarly nickname goes back to a band that never happened that I was going to do with Tom Murphy, and it was going to be called Bob Gnarly, and MySpace was in its like last dying out little strings of being a website with any relevance at the time, so I jokingly just changed my name to Rob Gnarly on there, and it kind of went out of hand because people just started calling me
It
it.
stuck. Well, MySpace names used to stick like hard, you know.
Dude, they still do. Like, if you had a MySpace name back then, chances are people still know you as that.
Yeah.
Even in a completely irrelevant like field, it's just because anyone who you've gathered as a connection from that era knows you as your MySpace name. And that was like the first time people were like, I don't want to say safely, but like more openly communicating with strangers on the internet. Exactly what your parents tell you not to do. We just, fine, you don't want us on chat rooms? Watch this.
Yeah.
And MySpace happened. So,
and everyone was doing it, so it was okay. Like, once everyone was doing it, it was different, I guess.
Well,
It's
at the
weird,
time,
though.
it didn't feel like it was your social media, because calling everything social media it wasn't totally a thing yet. It just felt like, this is MySpace. It's your own little website. It was a time where it was really cool to have like something that you like, a piece of the internet that you could sculpt out for yourself and kind of create this image of what you wanted people to see you as, even if that wasn't you at all. Like, if you looked at my MySpace at the time, I've since gone back and now they all look the same now. But I learned HTML from making myself look like a little street punk, and that's this image I was presenting to people. Meanwhile, I'm like shaved head, uniform, living at military school. So it's like it was really the birth of drastically changing who you were to the internet, and it was kind of like the great start of a downward spiral to where we are today. But we were going to start this band called Bob Gnarly, and it didn't happen. So then as a result, people would just call me it, and it was more so people I didn't know. My friends knew who I was. My previous MySpace name.
That's who I really was.
No, but my friends actually knew me, and I started to realize that if anyone had something bad to say about you, and everyone had something bad to say about at least someone else, and that someone was sometimes you. It just, that's what happens in a scene. Not everyone likes everyone.
Yeah.
So I found out
you put yourself out there a lot too.
Yeah, so I found out people were, if they were saying negative things, they were always saying negative things about Rob Gnarly, not Rob. And it wasn't like I was doing that to cover up for doing anything that was like, weird or whatever, or things I shouldn't have been doing. But it was just kind of nice to know if you hear something on the grapevine about yourself, you can kind of separate the bullshit real quick that way.
Yeah.
So and it kind of made things easier.
Almost your alter ego.
Yeah, it's just like, they're making fun of internet me.
So
we mustn't have met yet.
Yeah. So I guess Rob Gnarly came to exist, and then you joined Stressed Out after.
So Stressed Out was started by Richard and I.
Yeah.
He's since moved to. I think he's
Lives in Chicago now.
No, he's in California actually.
Really?
Yeah, I saw him on the Birthday Massacre tour, the Birthday Massacre Combi Christ tour we did in 2015, and he came out to our show
that's
at
awesome.
Slim's.
Yeah. So this is like 2008 Hub City Hardcore, probably early, right? 2007.
So I have a feeling like Pete or someone's gonna listen to this and tell me how wrong my dates are, but
Yeah.
I've never been good with dates. I'd like to say we started in. Like our first show was the summer of 2008,
Okay.
and then it went until I think it went 2 years and stopped in 2010.
Yeah.
Our last show was in
That sounds about right.
in my basement at the time.
Just a ball of energy that burned out quickly.
Yeah,
Like
it was
2 years of just raging and thrash, like a thrash. I guess you call it a thrash band.
Well, Municipal Waste was like hot right then, so
Yeah.
we wanted to be a thrash band. We wanted to be Heshers. We wanted to be the dudes from Wayne's World or whatever.
What's a
in band
Hesher?
form. It's just like what you hear people call thrash people.
Okay.
It might not be a term that you hear so often, but it's like, like metalheads from the thrash era would
Yeah.
be considered that. But we
Like
wanted
80s,
to be, we
like,
wanted to be
yeah.
the guys from that movie, The Stoned Age, in band form.
Yeah.
So we started this band, and honestly, the first couple practices, until we kind of pulled it together as like a much more metal band, it was we would just like come up with these punk riffs, and we would just do them in an attic or down the street or in our basement, or Justin's basement at the time, eventually our basement.
Yeah.
And a little bit at Fuck Mountain. I didn't name too many venues by name, but that was a great venue.
Well, that person owns Spina Records now, right?
Yes, that was his place. We recorded our demo there, actually.
Oh, right on.
In that shed.
Yeah.
But we were practicing there, and we were practicing all over the place. Anywhere we could get practice space, we would do it, because we couldn't keep using the same house for whatever reason at the time,
Sure.
and I was in the dorms. And
You went to Rutgers?
briefly, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
But we would just get so drunk during practice that it was it was bad sometimes. Like we would be breaking bottles because we were dropping them. And one time we went into the Rutgers dining hall and cooked Douglas right after practice, because I'd worked there, and as a result, my guest swipes didn't mean anything. I could just bring my band in for food. and my one of the members was a little bit drunker than the rest of us, and he kept laughing at this girl's Uggs, and we were all pretty drunk at the time.
Yeah.
Just sitting in the dining hall looking sleazy. And
Was it at least nighttime?
oh no, it was probably about this time of day, maybe a little earlier, like
Yeah.
the time of day where everyone's sick of being at school all day.
Yeah.
So eventually she just comes up to us and she yells at me about it. She goes, "What's your fucking problem?" And I'm just so like non-confrontational and just terrified, because it really came out of left field. He's laughing so hard that I can't do anything about it. The whole thing just kind of became a blur, because I was just jaw on the floor, like, what's happening right now?
That's fucking great.
At that point, the room starts spinning. No, it was
Uggs,
real.
yeah,
But
Uggs
that's
are
how that
real
all
good.
started. And then eventually, Pete joined the band. Aaron left the band, and Tom Murphy joined the band. And as soon as he joined, we went real metal, because he was getting real good at blast beats around the time, and you don't want to not use those.
No, yeah.
So that's when we really went to that heavier place. But the original intention, or I don't even know if it was intention, it was just like the original result of us playing music together, was what Mark Bronzino said it best: the band that can't decide if they want to be Anthrax or Lifetime. I was like, oh no. It's a pretty good description.
That's not bad. That's not a bad line to fall between.
Nah, we had a lot of fun with that. I tried to get the band back together, but I haven't had much luck with that.
Yeah, that's a band that just explodes, and then explodes like a star does. I'm not smart enough to talk about this, but then burns out.
Yeah, it just happened really fast. We got to tour a little. It was a good time.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah, fun.
it was done. Then it was like, oh, it's over.
I only knew you and Rich. I don't even think I knew you really at the time. I think we started hanging out more like 2011.
So the first time I met you was at a show in a gymnasium in South Jersey.
Oh, so Rich was there too, because that's when I met Rich.
He
Yeah, we
brought
met
me
each
in
other.
the ride before I met you. He's like, "Oh yeah, we're going to see Joe's band. Everyone thinks he's me." And I saw you. I was
Yes.
like, looks like him.
Yeah. And we knew each other from the NJ ska boards.
Yeah, I missed that. I missed the whole NJ ska board thing. Like,
Yeah.
everyone talks about the NJ ska boards, and I'm just like, is that did they live at the Hamilton Street Cafe?
Yo,
like
honestly,
other things that I missed out on.
There's photos
completely.
of like the NJ ska board, and it's like 90 people in Hamilton Street Cafe. It's like a gathering. But I mean, that's when there was a real strong ska scene. And like kind of post-hardcore scene, because Marlo was playing like post-hardcore shows.
You guys were doing some good stuff. I think I had even seen Marlo before I knew you. At least once. I feel like I did. I don't remember where, but I just
were regulars at Hamilton Street until we were banned.
I'd never been.
We got banned for fight. Oh, you were never there?
Nah, there was a lot of fighting in like early 2000 or like late
yeah,
2000s.
I mean the whole
post-hardcore.
saga of like VFW shows getting shut down one by one, and fights would always happen during Marlowe sets, and like I don't know why, because we weren't the heaviest band, and we were like, you know, fucking 15, 16, but we were playing with all these bands that were like 20, 21, and like
People were mad they couldn't mosh well because they couldn't understand your rhythms.
too technical.
Yeah, I don't know how to mosh in 3/4 into 4/4 into 5/7. Man, I need help.
Literally banned from Hamilton Street because we did a Battle for Warp Tour, and like we definitely had to sell tickets, but we probably sold like 80, 90, and like we started a fight. I didn't start the fight, but it was almost a riot. Like someone tried to escape next door, and a friend threw a chair through a glass window, and like 5 guys beating up. I'm not proud of these days, but like it's just what happened, and it was like, man, remember like there was mosh crews and shit, like just really silly shit.
Yeah, people went out of their way to like fight at shows. I watched a thing Hate 56 put up. I forget the band in question, but they put up a video of a band playing what I think was the Church in Philly. And it was from like 10 years ago. When this may have been 2 years ago when I saw this. This may have been last year. I forget how long ago it was. Yeah. Within the past 2 years, though, I saw this. And it was the same band playing the same venue. And it was just like, the first one was just people packed in and singing along and just really enjoying the show as close to the stage as they could all get. And then the next one was just everyone standing in the back because they don't want to catch a fist or whatever, and it was kind of eye-opening. It was like, shit, that's not good when people just associate getting harmed with the music that you're playing.
You don't want to be that band,
especially when it's not even like a genre-specific problem, as this video points out. It's like something that's a little more just like prominent in smaller shows these days. Everyone just assumes that whatever you play, it's a metalcore band, or if it's me at least. But then they just assume that, oh, you play metalcore and I'm going to get hurt at your show.
Yeah.
And even if the band is like a mellow math band that might have like a slower breakdown for a second, like it's people are just afraid of getting hit, so everyone stands as far back as they can.
Yeah. It's true. I went to there's like a Mossford Paws benefit show like recently, and I saw like Remembering Never and like On Broken Wings played, and like Fit for an Autopsy played too. And a year spent cold reunited, and like within 10 seconds the girl that was moshing like got fucking knocked out real bad, like face bloodied. And then afterwards people were like, not for nothing, but she should have known that was gonna happen. And it's like, it's strange, but it's interesting because like I don't go to those shows a lot. I know when I go to them, they'll stand back. Like I'll dance at like Meat Locker shows where it's like, you know, like 60 people and you know most of them, and like you can have fun, and like I'll mosh sometimes, but like a show like that, I'm like, I don't know a lot of these people, and like I don't want to mosh and people be like, who the fuck is this guy like at our show, and like just get fucking punched in the face. It gets kind of territorial, it feels like.
Dude, I've been punched really hard more than once at hardcore shows. I got knocked out at the Bleds farewell tour, and there was like no one in the room. There was like one douchebag.
That's all it takes.
That like I just got in the middle and wanted to dance for a little. I just gave up and just decked me right the fuck out, and I woke up on the floor with a sore jaw. Oh my god! And then another one, I had Troublemaker playing in my basement on Lewis Street, and you know one of these mosh warriors punched me in the face in my own house, and look, I got a scar still on this eyebrow from it.
You do?
Yeah, like
it only takes one person, dude. That's the fucked up thing.
In my own house, like I don't think it's that difficult. It's like, I'm hosting bands that you're coming to enjoy. Please don't punch me out.
Yeah, that's all you're asking.
Yeah, it's like, you know, it's like small requests.
Yeah,
But it's gotten to that point, and now I feel like metalcore on the whole is kind of in a bad place.
it is. But I still think dancing is like important and cool. You know?
Yeah, it's all about that release of energy. It
Yeah.
just developed into violence for no reason.
Yeah, I'm all for people like letting out what they need to, and like I like getting pushed around. Honestly, one time I got punched in the face, and it made me so fucking pissed that I moshed like as hard as I could. I was like, actually, that was kind of fun. I kind of get it, but like if I was a person that really didn't want to get punched, like I was in the front, so I kind of knew what happened. I was hoping it wouldn't, but like if I was a person that didn't want to get moshed, like hit, like it fucking ruins your night.
Yeah, like, and even like if you go back a couple years to when it wasn't like all about starting fights and everything, people still got punched. It happened, and it was never. It was always like there was respect involved. And a good example is I saw Census Fail at Starland, and every time they play Bite to Break Skin, I lose my shit because Hopeless Emo Kid on the inside forever.
Yeah, yeah.
And I was like dancing pretty hard, but I always try to like not hit people, And some guy got the back swing of my fist, and I got him good, and I felt really bad. And I went to the bathroom afterwards, and he was in there bleeding all over the sink, and I was like, I felt so bad. I apologized, and he didn't even care.
Yeah.
He was just like, yeah, that was so cool. And I was just like, no one was out to harm each other, and I still felt really bad about it. I don't, you don't want to punch someone that didn't do a thing to you. And
Yeah.
this poor kid's bleeding all over the bathroom, but the biggest smile on his face. I'm like, how do I feel?
Yeah. It's a case to case. Like everyone has a different take on it. Remember when we saw Census Fail and you climbed on you jumped from the ceiling?
Oh man, that was
Really
This was we had real Four Loko, the last of the real Four Loko.
Man, so this is like 2012, I guess.
Yeah, we took the train in, didn't we?
Yeah, we
took the train in from Montclair. We went to the Highline Ballroom in New York.
That's what it was.
Then we went to like the liquor store. It just got more alcohol because that's what we needed. These days, I look at like anything like that, and I already feel the hangover.
Yeah.
But like we just got way drunker than we were supposed to. I just remember giving my roommate Joe. He was there with two Joes.
Yeah,
I gave Joe $20, and I said like, "I'll meet you outside. Get me the record," because they had a tour press of Renaissance. That was the time period.
Yeah.
And
yeah, because Such Gold had Misadventures out, and they were on that tour too.
Yes.
Kind of weird, but cool. Yeah.
And I just climbed up at the balcony that no one was watching, and I got out onto the rafters, and I don't know why I did that. I couldn't tell you why. It was just like Four Loko. Like Four Loko made you do crazy shit. If you had a crazy idea, you did it on Four Loko.
You jumped like it's probably 20 feet.
It was at least a story.
Yeah. You were on the second floor of the building. You climbed out to the rafter in the middle of the venue. It was during 187 by Census Fail. I think.
It was gonna be the last time I ever heard that song.
Which they still fucking play it, right? Like,
well, I have the set list from their last tour I went to, which I think was their last tour, and they played part of it.
Okay.
So I forget, I'm bad with math, but whatever half of 187 is what they wrote on their set list. So they played half of 187. But yeah, I climbed out there, and I just remember like grabbing the rafter above my head and turning to the VIP guy that was allowed to be in the VIP section that I had snuck into to do this, and I was like, "Don't tell on me, bro." He's like, "Hold on, I got this." He just pulls out his camera phone, and yeah, like I don't know why I thought that was a good idea. I could have gotten really hurt, but
yeah,
I didn't. The guy that caught me punched me in the face and then hugged me. I was very confused about that. And I got thrown on stage, and I got grabbed by the throat by a bouncer, because that's, anytime you stage dive or crowd surf at a venue that you're not supposed to, and the bouncers having a bad day or whatever, they like, they grab you by the neck.
They'll be rough.
It's especially, the Trocadero used to be especially bad about that. But he grabbed me, and he starts like shoving me towards some back room at this venue, and I was just like, no, fuck that. I just ran out of a fire escape and just bolted all the way down to the waterfront. And in reality, I could have just waited out front. They weren't chasing me, but at the time in my head, it was I thought there was like a whole chase scene behind me, and all the fruit stands were coming out to catch all the cop cars off guard. But, that was all in my head, and really I was just running for no reason. Like, all right, I got to find the Joes again.
Was it you or someone else that pissed in a phone booth, too? It might have been someone else we were with.
That sounds familiar, but I don't believe that was me.
Okay. This is a wild night.
That was a wild night.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's New York.
Yeah.
You know, funny thing about New York, I got an open bottle there one time because it's whatever. It's New York.
Yeah.
And it was a very silly experience, and this does connect. So the cop came up, and apparently they were looking for someone that fit my description. So they didn't even care that I was drinking in the first place, but they called it in, so they had to do something about it. So they wrote me up a ticket, and I went to start pouring my beer. I was like, "You don't have to do that."
That's great.
And he's like, "But I just feel bad that," he said, "I feel bad that the ticket isn't for something better. It was like a can of Mickey's or something." And when I got the ticket, I realized that, like, you know, they show all the stuff that you get tickets for that are non-appear tickets, and it's like $40 more to get caught peeing outside in New York than it is to get caught with a drink. So
Oh wow.
something like that. I don't know the exact
Dodge a
numbers,
bullet.
but
Yeah.
I thought it was really funny. So yeah, I don't know. I'm sure I peed outside somewhere in New York, as we all have, because it's not easy to just find a
No
bathroom
bathrooms
in New York City.
No bathrooms.
And to people that have never been to New York, there's no alleys either, so you can't just go into an alley and pee. You just gotta, like, you either gotta find a McDonald's if you're lucky, or you just gotta, you know, sneak it somewhere.
Yeah. If you're in an area that's super busy, you're gonna have bad luck. It really depends. But
Unfortunately, it's not that expensive. Bad luck there, but it's, you know, ticket's a ticket.
yeah, that was a fun show though. Wait, Census Fail broke up? You said?
No.
Oh, they said they were on their last. Oh, you probably meant their most recent tour. 'Cause they
Yeah,
just put out an album.
the last tour that they played.
Yeah.
No, I think they're gonna be a band forever because they.
That's all anybody knows how to do.
I think.
Follow your bliss.
Yeah, I think they were like. There's an article talking about them okay with being a nostalgia band, and if you listen to their new albums, they're good.
I like the new one actually. I
I-
try to get all my friends listening. They're like, "Why are you showing me the new Census Fail album?" I was like,
Yeah,
"Ah, it's
some
kinda
people
cool."
haven't moved past like the first 2-3 albums
Yeah.
that they did, and they've really like matured in their sound.
It's
I
still
really,
neat.
I
It
still
is.
get excited when Census Fail drops a record.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, they still do well too. Hey, speaking of tour, you're going on tour.
I am. It's a long one. We're doing almost 2 months full U.S. Yeah, it's
That's insane.
it's the biggest tour I've ever done, and I'm just like terrified, but I'm equal parts excited. I think I was saying earlier, it's like, you know, until the anxiety just like got a stranglehold around you until the moment you set foot on the bus, and then it's just like, all right, we're
Once
doing
you're
this.
doing it, it's like, what else? We're doing it. Like, that's it.
Yeah, sometimes you gotta get past that first show too, because that first show is always like the one where you gotta like get undo all the kinks, and
Yeah.
you know, you gotta take yourself not too seriously or take it too hard if you have a bad first show.
Sure.
Like our last, like 2 tours ago, last tour, we went out, and our first show was very strange. It was at a strip club, which I had never been to one until that time, so it was my first time in a strip club, and it probably wasn't the best place to play a show
Probably
for
not.
that tour, like, because, you know, obviously people like locals from the area were harassing the singer of City of the Week because it's a strip club and they're the people that hang out at that strip club. So
Oh, they like the regulars of the club.
yeah,
Yeah.
like, I guess there was no, they were like, oh, you're a girl and you're in the strip club, you must be a stripper. And it was like, that was kind of
fucking gross.
uncomfortable.
Yeah, it's stupid.
It is gross.
Where was it?
Um,
Not in New Jersey.
no, definitely not New Jersey. I forget the exact location.
That's weird though. Was there anyone there for the show?
Yeah, there were people there for the show.
Because
But
that
this
might turn fans away too. It's like at a strip club.
Well, it was so when we got there, it was still sort of open for business. It wasn't like, or at least while we were there, it didn't seem to be like a full nude kind of place, and there were a lot of posters on the wall, so it was very much also a rock and roll venue.
Yeah. Oh, cool.
So, but it was just like that transitional period between daytime and nighttime, which, you know, I would have thought went the opposite, but that's it's just like, you know, we caught a little tail end of the daytime trash, like, you know, people that go and hang out at a strip club at daylight hours.
Sure.
It's
Yeah.
what it is.
grimy. Yeah. But now you're out for 2 months. But with the bus. I gotta say that's probably nice, right? Having a bus.
Yo, I sleep so well on that
Yeah.
thing.
Wait. So you all have you're gonna have to do like with words. You're gonna have to walk us through the bus because it's big, right? It's like a
So we have a Ford Econoline.
okay.
So it's a big, like, It's like the type you would see working for like a nursing home or something like that.
Yeah.
It has a handicap ramp in it and such.
Okay.
Just like those big white Ford buses. It was like a 20 passenger or
Oh,
something.
okay. I was picturing like
18, I don't know.
I was picturing like those touring, like if you go on a tour to like Atlantic City and like all the old people get on those like gigantic buses.
No, not like one of those.
Okay.
It's still
Still pretty big though.
yeah, it's so when you get on board, we're constantly doing battle with our door because the switch panel's been going bad for almost the entirety of having it. So we have a very finite way of getting our door open, and you know, depending on how the bus is behaving that day, the door will open right up, or we'll have to like, oh, hold on, you run around to the other side, climb through the driver's side, undo the do not undo emergency latch.
Yeah.
Push it open, lock it when you get back on. Make sure you lock it as your last person
There's always
out.
some trick that you have to do with your vehicle.
Yeah, but we have when we first got it, it was very interesting how we did things. We had 4 bunks, and someone was sleeping on the floor. And the bunks are they're called disco beds, and we got them from Amazon actually, and
Cool.
just mounted them to the floor with some hardware. So we took out a whole mess of the seats and we just left 2 of them in there, and we would just sleep on the bus. Like it's, like bands do, but it was nice to have a little bit of room. We all have bunks that we've kind of claimed as our own and put
Nice.
stickers around and
Decorate your space.
yeah, we were actually we were playing our last Webster Hall show, which would be our last Webster Hall show since it's no longer, and they were changing like movie posters at the theater on the corner. And they're just throwing them out. So we have a Christmas Horror Story poster stuck
awesome.
to the ceiling with stickers.
That's fitting, actually. That's good.
But yeah, we every time we go on there, we just like draw weird things and put up weird stickers, or
Yeah.
like, I have label maker at work, so I'll just label things funny.
I had an Astro van that I bought off Craigslist, like in 2000, probably. It had to be after my surgery, probably 2010. But like we just took magic markers because it was a white van, and we just drew all over the inside. Just ran it into the ground. Jamie Heidecker would fall asleep, and I would draw like he'd be leaning on the wall, and I draw like a penis going into his mouth. Very juvenile.
Just on
but,
the bus.
Yeah, just fucking around with it.
I'm gonna steal that and just do that to Felix.
It was a lot of fun. Yeah, because if you have magic markers, the whole van is your canvas.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
Have a ball.
But we've just been filling it up with stickers, so like every time we all save up our stickers from in between tours and just put them all over the place.
Nice.
Because we figure we're gonna run this thing into the ground, so it's our bus. And,
Yeah.
We've had its share of breakdowns, as anyone who owns a touring vehicle will know.
Yep.
They especially break down when you're on tour. It's like, oh,
They know.
look, you're gonna be in Nashville. Oh, that's a great place for me to break down. Hold
Yeah.
on. But it's never that. It's always just like the middle of nowhere, of course.
Sure.
But yeah, so the first tour we bought our T-shirts overseas.
You're telling me you got
yeah.
shirts printed in China?
We did, and
It's probably a lot cheaper, right?
so we overestimated how many shirts you would need for a tour like that. And
How long is the tour?
It was a month,
Okay.
and we didn't get them on time. So that's when we went to Ross at Merch Kitchen, and he was able to really, really help save us there.
Yeah, Ross is awesome.
Ross is
It's his
the
full-time
absolute
job
man.
now.
Dude, I recommend Ross to absolutely everyone because he's a man that's got a good work ethic.
Yeah.
He puts a lot of care into what he does, and the product always shows.
Yeah.
But we didn't get our shirts in time, so we thankfully Ross exists. We had all our gear in the back. We had just bought these Aftershock cabinets. Mine's a 610, and Felix's is an oversized 412. They're like matched cabinets, and at the time, like, the shows were great for it, but my God, getting those things into the bus. The only way to get them into the bus was through the handicap ramp, which would like intermittently fail. So every show was kind of like, is this going to be the one? Is this going to be the one where we can't get these things back on the bus and we can't close the ramp? So that was our first tour with the 4 bunks, but we decided like sleeping on the floor is too cold. You gotta have just like a little bit of buffer, or like that
Sure.
cold steel is freezing at night.
I've done that. It's not fun.
It's not.
Yeah.
So we did that, and then we got a U-Haul for a tour, and it was just a small U-Haul, but that was an absolute game changer because having extra space in the bus, like, you don't have extra space as it is.
Yeah.
But we've since gotten our own much larger trailer, and that's the best. We play a nice round of Tetris every time. And
Sure.
Figure
Packing it.
we have a way to exactly do it, and
Yeah.
you figure it out day one. But so this first tour, we didn't get our shirts in time. We had to reroute them all over the country, and eventually we were going to pick them up in Lawrence, Kansas. So originally we were ordering enough to get us through a year of playing shows and tours and this and that, and we got all of them there. We weren't going to bring them all on tour, but we got all of them, and we didn't have the space for them. So there was I think the 5 of us on there.
Mm-hmm.
It was all of Echo Black, and Danny's fiance Victor, who was doing our tour managing at the time. He's also he's got a fashion eyewear company called Material Memory, and he has a heavy hand in a lot of our visual design,
cool.
and as well as our graphic design,
which is important especially for bands like Echo Black, I feel, but also just in general.
Yeah, he's done a phenomenal job and just really puts his heart and soul into helping us look awesome.
Does he help with the videos too?
He does. He mostly does wardrobe, but he's really good at it.
Yeah.
So we had all of them on the bus, and it was rough.
Full of shirts.
Or wait, was this the one where we had oh no, so this was the Birthday Massacre tour.
Yeah.
So we got them, and at this point we had no space for anything because we didn't have a trailer. All of our gear was in the bus with these 2 massive cabinets.
Yeah.
Full drum kit, amps, guitars,
and a year's worth of shirts.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
We were sitting on boxes of shirts for long stretches of this.
That's rough.
Of this tour. It was interesting, and it really, really didn't fit. So picture seeing a band at a weird middle of nowhere Kansas Walmart parking lot that has like nothing around it. It's like the only thing there is this Walmart and the Robert Evans down the street or whatever you get to see when you start getting to these places. And we went to Walmart and bought these big Tupperware containers, and we were just like, it looked like we were trying to sell our shirts out of our bus in a Walmart parking lot because they were just everywhere. And just try to organize them so it all fit
and condense it. Yeah.
We lost the use of our seat, and
Damn.
It was a rough end to the tour in terms of travel.
How many days did you have to do that?
I think it was only like 15, but that's still rough.
That's
But we've kind of got it down to a science now for how to do that touring aspect and be more comfortable.
Is this a headlining tour, the one coming up?
Partially. So for the first portion of it, we are going to be supporting the Genitorturers, and for the second portion of it, we're going to be headlining, and Moonfall is going to be supporting us.
Cool. What was the first band?
The Genitorturers.
The Genitorturers?
Genitorturers, like torturing genitals.
Oh, like a pun, like a fun pun.
Yeah.
Cool.
Like a genital mutilation.
A similar genre?
We're like a dance rock band, and our roots are a little more industrial and heavier, especially with some of the stuff Danny was doing. But we've gone towards more of like a dance rock band that still has the pop vibes that we're going for, while maintaining a little bit of the dark side that we came from, because we're all from like different but similar musical backgrounds. It's almost like you could put us into a Venn diagram.
Yeah.
But the middle is pretty defined as what ends up being Echo Black.
Sure.
So like we all share tastes. Like me and Felix might both like one band. I might like a band that Billy likes, but then Felix doesn't listen to it, and it's kind of like that. Like we all have our very independent, unique musical tastes.
Sure.
And it's actually kind of funny. We get asked in interviews a lot, like a common question we get is like, what do you guys listen to while you're on the road? Like, and it changes so frequently, but it's always just like, despite what we all listen to, like me coming from a punk metal background, Felix coming from like a kind of glam rock, hair metal-y kind of background, Danny coming from an industrial, dancey, poppy background, and Billy coming from a more classical background, that the end result ends up being what we do. But we end up listening to things like Frank Sinatra and Meatloaf and the Birthday Massacre on tour.
That's fun.
Like all sorts of this and that.
Y'all have been doing this for a while, too.
Yeah, it's been a few years now.
As a DIY band, may I add.
We don't have a label, so we still have to, So DIY is an interesting term. It got thrown around. It gets thrown around a lot in punk rock.
Well,
And
yeah, this is what we were saying before. Like, do we sound like DIY bands? And like, is there a genre limit to what can be DIY? Because like, when An Angles goes out as a DIY band, booking our own tours, which 95% of like these post-hardcore bands don't book their own tours. They wait until like get an agent. They try to get an agent. But we went on this tour ourselves, and for the most part, we played with math rock bands. And we're like, we don't fit with these bands, but I guess the people I was hitting up, I wasn't even hitting up math rock promoters. I don't know. It's just, it's interesting. So it's different. You guys, you have your own, you have an agent, right? Someone's booking your tours?
we do a lot of our booking ourselves. It depends. We've tried some agents before. I know Danny was doing a lot of the booking for this current tour, but I don't actually know.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna act holier than thou because I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care who books the tour. I just care that the tour happens.
Sure.
So but we still do booking ourselves, and
I mean, do your videos yourselves more or less?
we work with people.
Yeah.
So we've worked with like different filmmakers, and we kind of gone with their ideas for some of them, or we've had our own ideas for others, and the end result, no matter what, when you collaborate with someone, it always ends up being fantastic.
Sure.
Something always ends up being better.
The videos are great.
Thank you
The
very
Lego
much.
Black videos are fucking really cool.
Thank you. I'm glad you like
I
them.
watched Burn Another Day like at least 12 times. Like,
I love that
it's
one.
yeah, absurd, but it's really neat.
The cool thing, well, you're talking about DIY stuff. I'm actually in the process right now. I just cut it all together, and I got to start making them this week. But I did a limited run of handmade VHS tapes of all our videos up to this point.
Really?
Yeah, so I've been doing a lot of work on that. I have about 2 weeks. I just finished making the video file last night, and I'm gonna use Raspberry Pi to send it as analog to a VHS tape, so it still looks authentic and it doesn't look crappy downsampled or whatever. And whipped out my synth and did some transitions, and
That's
I'm
really
pretty
cool.
excited about making that.
You're gonna have it. You're gonna have it for the tour.
Yeah, it's a limited 25 because
Who has a VHS player now?
exactly, but I just always liked music VHSs.
Yeah.
So VHS in general. So I wanted to do something like that, and so we're
That's
making
creative.
that happen.
Yeah, that's cool.
I mean, bands do weird stuff. Why not? Like, Pierce the Veil has hot sauce.
Yeah.
Like, I've seen some weird band merch, and Kiss takes it off for having the weird band merch title.
Pretty much any household object.
Yeah, I think Gene Simmons in the Henry Rollins interview said, "Why shouldn't we be a part of every facet of your life?" He's like holding up the Visa card. He's like, "Notice I'm holding it long enough for the camera to zoom in on it because it's free." But DIY is an interesting topic because the line is very, very blurry on what's considered DIY or what's not. But when someone usually says DIY in the punk context, the first thing my mind goes to is hand-drawn flyers, hand screen printed patches, recording things yourself. And it's a very cool aesthetic, and the mindset behind it is great. I get real excited every time that I see someone put the time in to make a zine.
Yeah.
I feel like more people get discouraged about making zines than make them these days. Like, they put it out and there's still a big stack of it on the table at the end of the night.
Print is kind of a dead medium, but I'm a person that pick up a zine if you have one.
Oh, I am too.
You'll find people that will.
Absolutely. But DIY, when you think of it, or at least when I think of it, it's not like it's less of a mindset, and it's almost like a mold. Like, if you don't do absolutely everything yourself, then you're not a DIY band and you should be shunned or whatever. I don't know. Maybe I'm overthinking about the context of not being DIY, but
I think it's like an aesthetic too.
it absolutely is. There's a look to it.
Yeah.
There's a look and a sound, like lo-fi, and just your favorite bands are patches, and there is a look to it, or depending on, it usually kind of goes with like the musical genre. Like, crust punks always seem to have like screen printed patches.
Yeah.
More indie kind of punks you'd usually see will have like hand painted patches.
And a lot of it stems from necessity originally, like low cost, right?
Yeah.
Like doing what's cheap to get by, so you can do this shit too.
Yeah, but you get to a certain point, and it's almost like when you're not there, you start to think like, when it stops being DIY, that everyone just hands you everything, or at least that's what I kind of thought about it when I was younger. And I'm still realizing that so much of what you do, even on a band that tours for long periods of time and uses marketing and things like that, you still do so much yourself that it almost makes it incredibly difficult to be a band if you don't have that kind of mentality, that DIY mentality. And of course there are bands that, are put together by record labels or whatever.
Yeah.
Those still exist. And, there's people that don't have to worry about that because they're like into like a single musician and they have like someone wants to produce what they're doing, or they have a label that'll get behind it, or they have, if they have a successful single, then all these opportunities and doors start up for them, and companies will like throw stuff at them.
Like in Haley Williams' case, they made a band for her.
Is that how that happened?
Yeah.
I was like, my Paramore knowledge is awful.
Yeah, I mean, I think they still wrote together. I don't think it was all like super fake, but she was signed as an individual artist through Fueled by Ramen, and then whatever they got picked up after. That's why those two people quit later on.
I did not know that.
There's just different ways to go about doing shit.
Yeah, I mean, like, sometimes that works. Sometimes if you have someone that's got a vision, they might just tour with, like, whoever's available at the time. And, like, look at Nine Inch Nails. It's the same two guys, and when they tour, they just get musicians to tour with them.
Yeah.
And you can't say they aren't successful or doing it well. They're tremendously successful.
They have artistic vision.
Exactly. So there's a big difference between, being someone with that vision who's putting something together yourself than a band that's put together by a record label. Those are two completely different entities.
I mean, you could smell the phoniness. I have a fucking nose I get pissed off right away. I mean, like, bands, and I take it too far a lot of the time, but like I've literally heard people say to me like, "Oh, if you want a lot of Twitter followers, just like follow all these people, and then once they follow you back, like unfollow them, and that way, like, you get signed." And it's like, well, but what are we really doing? Like, who?
Like, why even bother at that point? Just buy followers if you don't care about the followers existing.
Yeah, you just want a number.
But that blows up in your face. Like the second you try to go do a show and all of these people don't show up. It's hard enough to get real people to show up to shows, but if they're not real people, nothing's gonna happen.
Yeah.
And it's just like, it's very important to maintain a connection with an audience that came from a more organic way. When you get to a certain point, if you start using marketing to get to a broader audience, you just want to make sure you're doing it in a way that appeals to people that are like someone that would benefit from listening to you, i.e. someone that would enjoy it. So you kind of have to like...
Yeah. I think Echo Black has actually really helped some people, I would say.
I'm glad to hear
and
that.
I think music in general does, but like a band that's like Echo Black, which is pretty out, just in general, I guess the word out is just a broad statement.
Yeah, I'll take that.
Yeah, like, I could see like younger kids or just adults too. It's like relating and the message, and like they're fun love songs, but there's like other messages in there too, and I think it's neat,
Yeah, we try to write things that are that aren't super specific, something that can kind of stick with you a lot longer than whatever's happening in like a current political climate.
Sure.
At the same time, there's some nice play on words we mess with that kind of keep it a little bit gender ambiguous, so that it can appeal to more people. So
sure.
In Poison Apple, like, "You be my queen, I just gotta have it." That means so many things. Like, I could think about that being like a girl I'm fond of, or it could be a drag queen. It could be anything. It could be. It's so broad though. So we want to keep that a little open and vague, so it's not something specific for one type of person. Because I don't know. For me, music's always been about enjoying it, just getting that feel from listening to it. So we want to make something that's not going to alienate people. I mean, our videos may have been a little stronger on those messages at some point. I mean, the Dawn video with the orange devil is, it literally said POTUS under it. I can't pretend that wasn't.
No, but that's fine.
But you don't have to watch the video to still listen to the music. We just, we try to keep our videos visually compelling.
Sure.
And big cinematic videos like Michael Jackson type video. Not that I'm comparing us to Michael Jackson, I couldn't, but
Yeah.
just everyone does like the video where you just play in a white room nowadays.
Yeah.
So we wanted to keep it a little more interesting. Like Poison Apple that just came out. We were thinking about like old Aerosmith style videos or whatever. We did a lot of narrative type videos up until then, so we wanted to do something that was a little more fun to show that like if you were to sit in the bus with us for a day, it's the silliest shit. Like the way we interact with each other
Yeah.
is hilarious, and sometimes it's hard to kind of demonstrate that side of yourselves to a band's fan base.
Yeah.
So we wanted to do something that was a little more laid back, and we literally just had everyone over to a house in Brooklyn on St. Patrick's Day, and got some handles and had a party basically.
Yeah, it's fun.
And just filmed it. It was a great time, and the video came out great.
Yeah, awesome. So I was thinking about Echo Black, I guess, before you came, and like I feel like is drag like drag's obviously a part of it, but like it's almost like in the genre of music. Like I don't know. I mean like.
So that's an interesting question that it would probably be a better question for Dan, because Dan used to if you ever watch any of his old Danny Blue videos, which is how I found my way into the band. I was a touring bassist for Danny Blue on the final tour as Danny Blue, but once we had a solidified lineup, we decided to change it to Echo Black to show that it wasn't just Danny, that we were all working on on the music that we do.
Yeah.
And it was a lot draggier before.
Sure.
But I don't want to say we're specifically like. I don't think we go with point. We're not specifically a band that's oriented around drag or anything like that, but we have a lot of fans that are that do drag. We have drag queens in our videos.
Yeah.
And we do, like, I don't know how many drag queens you've met, but they're always just wonderful people, at least what I can tell.
I'm sure.
I'm sure someone's going to be like, well, I know this one. But I see drag queens very frequently at our shows, and very supportive of that. I love it.
That's cool.
And in fact, actually, since playing in Echo Black, I've gone to more drag shows because I didn't realize I was missing out.
No, they're fun.
I went to one in Philly, I think it was like 2 Halloweens ago, and there was a Pennywise in drag, and I was like, this is great.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Or maybe, it was like last Halloween, 2 Halloweens ago, I forget.
I played at a like Pride Festival in Massachusetts, and there was like an all-day drag show, and then we played at the end. But it was pretty neat. I wish it was like in a club at nighttime, because that seems like the place, like the vibe for it, but it was like a daytime drag show. It's still pretty fun.
The first show I played on the first tour with Danny Blue was at the Rock Bar in New York. I think it was called the Rock Bar, and it's a like gay bar in I guess like near the Meatpacking District or Chelsea or that area. I could be getting that wrong. I'm not the New York one in the band.
Yeah.
But it was a gay bar that we played at, and this is like my first real experience going to places like this. Not that I had any aversion to doing so. I didn't care.
Yeah.
I just I just don't go out to that many bars in general to begin with.
Yeah.
So it was like first time I was there, it was a little bit of culture shock, just because I remember at some point Danny coming up to me and being like, that's a guy, right? To one of the queens, and I did, but it was just like trying to visualize like a slow head turn, like a I know.
Yeah.
But that was my first kind of experience getting into that world, and it's a fun world to be in. If you're not going to drag shows, you're missing out.
Yeah.
They're a blast.
Yeah. So yeah, I have to definitely credit the band for. I mean, obviously, Dan's gonna be who they are. Like you're all gonna be who you are, but like you're not afraid to like be weird and incorporate it in your art. Like the music is. It's dance pop, and like you're saying, the lyrics are ambiguous, but if you see the band and watch the video, you like get what it's about,
Yeah, and I think one of the things that because I back to the point where I said about how we're all coming from completely different musical backgrounds. At first I was just filling in. I was just going to go on the tour with Danny as his bass player pre-Echo Black until we decided to keep it as a band. And I don't know, it was just like we all were completely unique individual people with completely different taste, and somehow when we all get together and we write this music, we do a lot of our writing on our own, but when we get together and we write music and everything, even though we are so different, we're able to incorporate aspects of what everyone does into what we do, and the end result is everyone asking us what genre we are over and over again.
Yeah.
But I like that. It's very difficult to explain our genre without just going like, here you go, you don't have to like it, but you check it out if you want or don't.
Yeah. But
it's
working.
I don't know a band that sounds like us, so it's hard to it's hard to put a like a label on it. I think one of my favorite things people said about that was like a mix between Marilyn Manson and Lady Gaga. That's what awesome. I heard.
Oh, that's so cool.
I've been hearing a lot more, but with Duran Duran influence, and I just kind of let people describe it for us until I find something someone else has said, because I would just like try digging through my brain knowledge of metal bands, be like, what's the closest thing to this?
Yeah.
But it's the dance rock is what we've kind of settled on.
I think after the new album, that's an appropriate fit too.
Yeah, and it's not even entirely dancey. We've done like we did Reckless Heart, which was a lot more of like a mellow kind of synthy jam. So
even like the classical guitar style, like interludes too, like helps make it different.
Yeah, that's a lot of that comes from Billy, and then he's like really good at writing really like epic kind of work. And like if you listen to the album all the way through, there's like a lot of the dancey stuff, but we wanted to make it kind of feel like it had a progression to it, and so all the songs aren't necessarily exactly like each other. But then we finish up with Fool's Gold, which was the like 8.5 minute long song we did close the album out with.
Yeah,
and we kind of gave the ending a very like Broadway ending vibe to it, very like. Because like we're from New York, what's more New York than Broadway? So like a big kind of Broadway closing point.
Yeah,
and
it fits too. But what's interesting though is I feel like the production is like slightly, and not in a bad way, it's actually more to my style, but it's like less polished in the way, like compared to like a pop song. Like I felt like it was like I could hear the band playing now. Like less compression, I'd say, on drum. Like drums sounded like drums, and it still had the dance vibe, and like it still like made you want to move. So was that like intentional, or that's the way it came out?
Well, yeah, we use a lot of electronic stuff in our music, of course,
but it sounds natural, I think.
Well, I've been trying to actually like work real synthesizers into it, so now I've been slowly dragging more stuff on stage, and Bill does that too. So he's got he carries a Nord and a Nord drum pad, so we can still incorporate some of these things and at the same time make it a little bit different live, because our live show is different from what you're going to hear on our album. Our album's like this is kind of like the archive of the song. This is the archetype of what it should sound like, but when you come to see it live, it's going to be with real instruments. It's going to sound different.
Yeah.
And that's what we really like to have, our live show. That's the most important thing about this band, because our stage synergy is beautiful, is all I can really put it as. I love playing with them.
Yeah.
It's so natural. It feels great.
I haven't seen it in like 3 years, I think.
You have to come,
I'm due to come to the show.
Out.
Yeah.
But it's like the way we interact with each other. I know some bands will like, they'll choreograph things, but we just kind of get on stage and goof off the entire time. And after doing that for a few shows on a particular tour, we start to pick up off of each other's cues. Someone will be like, oh, he was doing that, I'm going to do that during this part, and then they could just kind of become ingrained as part of the show, even though we didn't ever formally sit down and say, okay, for this part we're going to do this.
Yeah.
It just kind of happens naturally.
That's
that
organic
way.
Yeah, you want that,
and that's what I get with playing with
yeah,
Echo Black,
because it was a band that you were all sort of thrown into.
Yeah, I just kind of learned the Daddy Blue songs for the tour.
Yeah.
And it was just so much fun playing with them.
Yeah.
I was only playing like metal and hardcore bands up until that time. So it was just it was so drastically different. The scene was different. Everything about it was so far from what I had been doing, but it couldn't have been more fun because it was all things that like, you know what, let's see what happens here. Like, I don't have to make the music that I particularly listen to. And I'm not saying I don't listen to my own band. I probably do too much. And like anyone who out there, I can understand the anxiety with not wanting to listen to your own band, but you should listen to your own band. If you can't listen to the music you make, why make it?
Yeah.
Why, like, if you can't honestly tell someone that you enjoy it, then it's difficult to like you got to be behind your product, and in this case our music is our product. And it's easy to get behind, even though it's something, like I said, something that none of us have really, it's hard to figure out what it is. It's hard to know what to call it, but like, I really enjoy listening to my own album. And
I agree with that. I think you need to, if you want people to be drinking your Kool-Aid, you should be drinking it too. It's a good way to sell it.
I can't just not listen to my album and then just tell everyone, all right, you got
check it out.
Check it out. No, I don't listen to it, but you should check it out. But it's like Alex Jones shit. It's like, you think he's taking all those supplements he's selling people? Get real.
No.
He's just selling you that garbage. But no, we want to. I mean, I hope the rest of them listen to it too, but I listen to it all the time. I really.
You should be proud of it. It's a cool record.
Thank you.
50,000 Spotify followers. Right,
we're at 53,000 monthly listeners right now. That's mind blowing.
That's the most honest metric you'll find online now. I think this is how I feel now, because you can go Facebook likes or Twitter likes, but those can be easily inflated. And Spotify followers, someone is actually listening to your music, and that's what this is about at the end of the day. Who's listening to your music? Like, granted, people are buying it off Bandcamp, although I'd say Echo Black would be less of a Bandcamp band. Like,
I don't believe we have a Bandcamp, but we're on the other outlets. We're Spotify, Google Play, iTunes, Amazon.
Bandcamp is more like rock realm, or well, not necessarily, but I don't know.
Bandcamp is just the placeholder for when MySpace Music went away, because that used to be the best way to get people to hear about your band. You got to pick 4 songs. You could let them download it because everyone had an iPod around that time.
People could feature it on their profile.
That was the most organic. I think that may have been the best time for independent music in my lifetime. I'm not going to say it was the best time for independent music because so much of music I was not alive for. But I think it's very safe to say that was the best time for independent music in my generation.
It was a lot easier to do things, for sure. I mean, we could complain about Facebook all day about the way that views are skewed and everything, and like your audience, like your reach and all that. I mean, like, it's been everyone listening knows already. So.
Facebook decides what kind of person you are blindly, and then just based off of whatever you're doing, and then everything is going to be skewed towards that. And I can understand the initial concept behind that, where you'd like to give someone a tailored experience.
Well, they're trying to get you to stay on your device for as long as possible, because it's a business at the end of the day. They're trying to monetize you patronizing the site, right? They're trying to monetize you being on Facebook. The longer you're on it, the more ads you see.
It's an absolute mess these days. I probably get 5 people trying to sell me sex cams a day.
Really? On Facebook?
Yeah.
Wow.
Do you want to see it? No, no, they're fake profiles, you know. I'm pretty sure they're just fishing for blackmail. Yeah.
Well, that's funny. As someone we know who I won't name, actually, I guess I don't know if it's through Tinder, but they jerked off on camera for someone. Because the person asked, it was consenting, but then they screenshot it, and they're like, I'm going to show your family members, and went through their friends list, I'm going to show your mom, and named their mom, and all this shit, and the police had to get involved. There's this whole thing, unless you send me $100 or $1,000, I don't remember what it was, but they got blackmailed.
Here's my blockchain, send me all your Bitcoin.
Yeah. I got catfished once, but I was 19 and really stupid, and I don't know, it was dumb.
Aren't you the catfish king now?
Yeah, now that's what I do.
Blowing up your spot.
That post is still up when I catfished a bro guy.
I was thinking about making a Tinder profile as a dog and just responding with woof. And swiping right everyone just to see what I could fish out of terrible people.
Yeah, you never know.
It could be fun. I mean,
the internet can be fun.
it's amazing how you could see someone's absolute dark side with something as simple as that. Like, I guarantee you, if I did that, I would get some bizarre stuff.
You get some dirty shit. Yeah. Yeah.
It's a scary place.
Yeah.
Human interactions at a very weird place this era.
Well, yeah, because like you're just a picture online. You're not a person. So it's like you can build your own persona, right? Like I'm a cop, right? That whole bit, like, you know, you can do whatever you want.
You're right, officer.
That's right.
But yeah, there's also the worst part. There's a name for this phenomenon, but the worst part about online is that you can't tell someone's tone of voice, and people enjoy trolling. Like, you can't type sarcasm, and
No,
you can't.
There should be a sarcasm font.
Yeah, just
like italics. Or
italic. Yeah, but Facebook's got one font.
Yeah.
But you can't tell that, and that combined with how people only seem to read headlines these days is that, like, no one knows what's a joke anymore, and you could send someone real off the rails with something that you may have deemed just simple and harmless, and they could take it way too seriously. And it's I'm not talking about anything specific. It can literally be about anything.
Yeah.
So, for example, this is a silly example. Two people I know were having a discussion about the moon landing, and the one person was jokingly saying that it was fake, and the other person was not getting that he was joking, and he was kind of getting upset with him, even though he was blatantly just joking.
Yeah.
But not everyone gets everyone's tone of voice, even in real life, and that's just exacerbated on the internet. So you could say something that you're just like, you think is just a little quip and jest, and then all of a sudden that could turn you into an internet asshole or whatever.
Well, that's the thing, because you're getting gut reactions, because everything's taken at face value right away. So you get gut reactions, and then it just kind of is like, it just feeds itself, and it becomes this whole fucking thing. So,
freedom of speech is not without freedom of consequence.
Yeah,
you can't just say anything you want and expect people to not react to whatever that may be. And once again, I'm not talking about anything specific. This could literally apply to any difference of opinion on the internet over anything.
Yeah.
No one knows what, like, when you discuss with someone, it's completely different and even just by the act of like commenting on someone's post. If it's a contrary opinion, they take it as hostility immediately.
Yeah.
And it's like a tough minefield to navigate.
Yeah, it really is.
Especially in a time period where, like, a lot of people are easily offended by things.
Well, yeah, because you could have the wrong opinion and then be blacklisted for, it's usually to a worse extent. You have to really say some shit, but, like, it gets really, like, I don't know, it gets polarizing, I guess is the word, because, people keep score with likes. You can and pile on. It's just really easy for things to go a certain way on the internet.
Meanwhile, as someone that goes across the country and meets people from all walks of life frequently, you would never know what this person is like on the internet when you meet them in person. It's like they could be the nicest human being, non-judgmental seeming, and then you get on the internet and they're just like, oh, apparently they're in the Klan. Like,
yeah, no, it's true.
That's what it's like, though.
I think about that sometimes, because I think I'm too salty on the internet, and I am in person too, so I guess it's okay. But it's all in good fun. I feel like I feel like people meet me in person. They're like, oh, there's that guy that posts a lot online, and was he gonna? I don't know. I don't want someone to meet me and be like, oh, I hope he doesn't post about me. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, that's
too much.
I'm just kind of glad I don't know any live bloggers.
Yeah.
Like, I don't mind going live on Facebook or whatever, and in fact, I'm really trying to start doing some live, like, synth performance. I'm just trying to get better at it first, so I can keep maybe do a good 20-minute set of just improv.
That sounds fun.
I don't care if anyone watches it. I just want to do it for fun.
I thought about doing live podcasts, but I don't really know. I'm not sure. Still figuring it out.
Accidentally find out your friend's an asshole in front of an audience.
Yeah. Now everyone knows. Looks at the camera.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, it's not a bad idea, but
could be fun.
I'm still looking into how I want to go about doing that.
Yeah.
And once I'm a little more comfortable in making everything flow together well, I'll work out some stuff and until then, I'm just kind of making my own on the side. I'm just making my own, just like explorations of sound, and sometimes I'm posting them. And
Yeah, you're doing a lot.
I
You're learning about all the synths, which is really neat. Every time I see you, you're like telling me some shit. I'm like, oh damn, like I have to look into this.
yeah, it's you know what's weird? If you asked me 2 years ago, I would have just looked at a synth and been like, nice piano. But we went on the we went into the studio, and I started learning about like the difference of just using a preset and using something that is like built up from scratch by yourself.
Yeah.
And that's how you like people can tell in the industry and fans and anyone that makes their own music if you're using a preset, because all the best things everyone has, you know, because everyone torrents that shit.
Sure.
So like, you know, I'm the one behind because I don't have any plugins. And Splice too. Like things like Splice are a big part of that, where you could just go, you subscribe to a service and purchase small bits of songs or loops or samples that other people have made and throw it all together like a freeform jigsaw puzzle and
That's
call
fun.
call it your work.
Yeah.
So we were in the studio, and I was like, we were at Silk City Grooves up in Patterson. We were working with Walt DiChristina, which was by far the most comfortable studio experience I've ever had.
That's awesome.
I heard someone say one time that there's never a more vulnerable moment in a musician's life than when they step into the recording booth, and it is true. You second guess everything, but
Yeah.
working with him was an absolute breath of fresh air. It's
Awesome.
like there was no pressure, and I make up my bass parts on the spot. I don't sit down and write everything out. Like I play the demo tracks of everything, and you know, so much might change when we start discussing all the things together about like how to fit parts together and how to evolve what we've been demoing. And so I write my bass parts, like I think about it a lot, but I just like write them right there when I'm in the chair playing them. And it was so comfortable that I had no problem like even live streaming it as I was figuring it out. Because like I just felt great.
That's
it
awesome.
was a wonderful experience. But while we were up there, he has a lot of really interesting old equipment that they've collected in the area, and I was heavily doing research at the time into it, and everything was just like it kind of like clicked. It was like, oh, if you want to make these sounds, like I go back to being a kid and hearing like Billy Joel's Pressure or Elton John's Funeral for a Friend, and just listening to those big synth sounds, and it was almost like 50% I wasn't looking into it,
Yeah.
and 50% I kind of liked the aura of mystery surrounding it. I just assumed you just bought the right piano, pressed a button, and that sound came out, which
Sure.
to an extent is true. But
You have to know which ones are right now. There's so many.
yeah, but at that time we already had the Cyclone 9 tour planned, so we're going out with Cyclone 9, and the front man of that, Nero Bellum, is really good with modular synths and analog stuff. So I decided, Danny was talking about wanting to do more like synth stuff, like analog synth stuff, and I just started looking into it, and I started with I bought a Arturia Micro Brute. I got a Roland Juno DI, which is like their digital computer connected Juno, like a stage synthesizer.
Mm-hmm.
I got that off of the Gear Exchange on Facebook for like $20 because it was advertised as not working, and then I realized that just the filter was turned all the way down and it doesn't have onboard speakers.
What a deal! Nice.
And I've just been trading around and building
You were always
up
good
with
at
it.
that. Like, I mean, that's how you found our fucking stolen PA head.
Yeah,
Like,
I didn't.
You were going to the trading post to find shit and like, flip it.
I was always broke, but I wanted to like make different sounds with like my bass, and like when you don't have money and you're just barely getting by on equipment as it is in punk bands and whatever, it makes sense to learn all the ins and outs of equipment, old and new, and you have to kind of learn which opinions about gear to take into consideration, because some are very snobby while others might be a more honest opinion about something.
Sure.
So I got the Micro Brute, and It was actually interesting. Artoria very generously gave me their entire collection recently.
That's
so
great.
it it escalated to a pretty cool place.
Yeah.
So thank you very much, Artoria, for that. But I got some of those Korg Volcas, and I got some of those Teenage Engineering pocket operators, and I didn't have a goddamn clue what I was doing. So I hit up Nero on Instagram messages, and I was like, "Look, would you be willing to maybe show me a few things?" And he was very, very cool about it, and he would, like, any chance we got to talk about synth stuff, he would tell me about this or that. And usually it wasn't specifics. It was the beginning, it was specifics, but eventually he was just kind of opening my eyes to the world of gear. And
Yeah.
I still use because of that tour. I think it was Rodney, their guitarist. He was they were doing an old school tour that was like, it was so industrial, so goth, so cool. It was like two synth players, Nero, and a drummer, and it was so cool.
Yeah.
But I learned a lot about it. I ended up getting like a smaller version of what Rodney had in terms of a synthesizer. It was he has System 8, and I just got this. I got the System 1, which I still tour.
Nice.
And it's just been like, trading. I spent a lot of time going to flea markets and thrift stores and like looking up specific old like Casio and Yamaha toy keyboards that had specific attributes, and it all kind of like blended together. And I was just doing a lot of trading with this old toy gear just by knowing what was important about it, like not just buying everything, because a lot of them are just like what we call romplers. So it's just like ROMs, like ROM players essentially. They just play samples of usually phase distortion, they call it sometimes, or sometimes they'll call it pulse code modulation. But they're all like sampled synths because they have no control. They don't need to. It's what you get is what you get.
Yeah.
But I started looking for ones that were specifically interesting. Like I found the Casio VL tone, and that was if you've heard a song that uses the drum beat on that doot 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 doot, that classic Casio tone. And like I was just like, I was researching everything I came across because some of them have really cool features. That one has a full set of editable features that you have to access by entering numbers into the calculator in a funny way.
That's neat.
It is the least practical way of programming a
course.
synth, but like I found that, and I found the Yamaha PSS 460, which is another toy keyboard. It's like an late 80s kind of guy, but the interesting thing about that was that it's got the same voice chip that you would see in the Sound Blaster from audio card for computers from that time period. So it's basically a chip tune keyboard for playing DOS music. So I go and I was looking for things like that.
Next time I come over, I want to play that actually.
Oh, absolutely! I love that thing. We just featured it in the Poison Apple video. In fact, I don't know how prominent it is. It's kind of like putting like hidden subtle things in it. And at some point, my friend was just like bent over the table drinking a beer, and I was using her as the keyboard stand. So it was kind of like a consensual, hilarious, raunchy like Easter egg. And we forced a continuity error for it at some point. It switched positions, so that she was like faux pegging me while playing the keyboard. It was a great time. And so if you look at the background of that, you might see that was a.
Do you switch off between keyboard and bass live?
Yeah, I do. I'm trying to do it more, but so there's like.
Is there bass like in the backing track for when you switch, or like you just kind of find
it's just not there?
Yeah.
So when we do Reckless Heart was very much, that's the one we do it now, but I'm going to be, incorporating it into more stuff now that I'm more comfortable with it. When I started doing this, I could barely play keys.
Yeah.
I still can barely play keys, but I get by on like a 25 key, like bass oriented synthesizer.
For what you're doing, you don't need like left. I mean, maybe sometimes left and right hand, but like block chords and melody. Like it's more for those synth sounds. You just play.
Yeah, well, I use my right hand, or I play with my right hand, and then I use
control.
Having access to all the knobs is with my left
for
hand.
Echo Black, that's what it's more like, I'd say.
Yeah, so it's more about, it's for what I do. I play some of the rhythms and things, but it's more about like building a sound for that song.
Yeah, soundscapes, ambience. Whatever.
Exactly. And like I'm heavily influenced by like, you know, thought process wise, video games, Hans Zimmer, and like the way you create worlds and that fascinates me. So incorporating that into our live show is why I got the synthesizer, and I've got some pre-programmed banks. I just kind of spend time with it in my free time, and I make up things that will kind of I'll latch the notes on a chord and just let it arpeggiate up an octave or two, and then just mess with it so it kind of creates ambiance in between songs, but then I can let it go for a second and tune my bass.
That's fun. So that's important too, is like having stuff in between songs live. Instead of like I saw like a band once from Michigan, and between every song they didn't know what to say, so they just said, yeah, we're from Michigan, and they just kept saying it, like, and they weren't like doing it as a bit. Like I counted, like they said it 4 times after, like in between songs and stuff, but like having synth going or like loops or anything was just like kind of feels natural instead of everything stopping and the energy stopping.
Yeah, it's created a very nice kind of like transition between songs, and we can stretch it out a little further if we need more time to tune or switch tunings or whatever.
Because at the end of the day, you're putting on a show.
Yeah, and we run our show in Ableton, and we do play to a track, but if you were to take our track away, like I haven't even been shy about showing people our track before. If anyone wants to hear what it sounds like, I'll show it to you. Most of it's just the instruments. So you like if you were to just play our track, you wouldn't even know what song it was, except for like the vocal harmonies that are unrealistically and obviously pitch shifted.
Sure,
like things that couldn't physically exist
anyway.
That's
the vibe of the music too, is having those effects on vocals at times.
Yeah, like. We want it to sound good. We want you to know that we're all musicians, that we play our instruments, that we put a lot of time and effort into putting our show together. But like we have a show. That's what it is. Well,
because you do lights too.
Yeah,
lights
we program our own lights, and we sync that up to our click track, which I regret every moment of my life I talk shit on click tracks. Click tracks for performance are the absolute best.
I mean, for a dance rock band, quote unquote, like perfect. You want a steady beat for people to dance to and shit, I
think the biggest advantage of it, like if like my in-ears, I don't have good in-ears, so they fall out a lot. Mm-hmm. And I could still play fine because as long as my drummer's playing in time
to the click.
Yeah, it's just a metronome. That's all it is. Yeah. It doesn't like robotically force you to do something differently. It just keeps you in time. That's all it is.
For all the shit I'm doing, it's like I can play to one. Like I've heard like the Angles EP. I track to one for the best of the worst stuff I do. Invalids is different because it's like programmed drums. Then the guitars are recorded to that, so that's like technically to a click, and then I record to the guitars. For all the shit I'm doing, like with the slowdowns and stuff, it's just like
well, that's in terms of a scenario that's different. You know? Like
if I mean like I've mapped out clicks for when we go in the studio, and it's just a pain in the ass. And then like
tempo changes and time signature changes are where that becomes very complicated because
more so tempo, because you have to draw in the tempo changes. Like a time signature change, I'm like it's not, you have to write it in, and it's just annoying.
Yeah, like you have to almost just like record your click track and then record your click track again at this part, and then stitch it all together and make it its own track.
Yeah.
But ours is basically just like, it's just like the metronome.
Straightforward, yeah, and that's good. It works. It helps you all play together solid.
But like when you have a lot of people coming out to see your show, or it doesn't matter. We still play to nobody sometimes. Like
everyone does.
Yeah, like if you don't play to nobody every once in a while, then you're doing something wrong as a band. Where's your band's soul?
Yeah.
But like, it
toughens your skin. You need
those are great shows to especially mess around and get a little more experimental, because if there's not even enough people for someone to care enough to have a cell phone camera out, then that's the best time to experiment with new ideas on stage. But like I love playing to the click, because if someone like falls, like our show is high energies, it happens. I've fallen off stage before. I climb things, so like I'll jump up onto the bar high five the bartender or try to order a drink while playing a song and then slip off like a dumbass on my way back down. It happens.
Great.
But
Yeah.
if something like that were to happen and you aren't playing to a click, you would like screw up the rest of the band.
Yeah.
But this way you can like still put on a good show through your errors and, you know, pick up where you left off, and overall it just tightens everything up.
Totally.
But we've played shows without our click and backing tracks. They're not our crutch. We don't need them to
awesome.
be our band.
Yeah.
Danny doesn't have backing tracks for his vocals, like aside from like unrealistic harmonies and
I saw
like,
We Came
harmonies
as
and choruses. And
I saw We Came as Romans as at Bamboozle. I was there and they were playing, and the singer
Rest
literally.
in peace.
Yeah, was it the singer that died?
Yeah.
All right, the singer put the mic out to the crowd, and the vocals was just still at 100% in the PA.
It's kind of hard to look past that. Like, I know a lot of people do it, and I don't.
Shit's whack, in my opinion.
It is what it is. I don't care enough to kind of point fingers and
Yeah.
blame people. Everyone knows people do it. But,
Yeah.
Danny can sing.
Yeah, no, Danny can.
Real pipes.
I'm sure the person from We Came as Romans was a good singer too. It's just at the show, like, I don't know.
We've had a very fortunate run, and we've toured with a lot of bands that do sing.
Yeah.
I haven't really, off the top of my head, I can't think of a specific band we've actually toured with that backtrack their vocals. They've all been people that you don't talk to them 30 minutes to an hour before their set because they're in their bus with a mini keyboard or
warming
something up. Just warming up their notes, like taking it seriously because they still treat their voices as instruments.
Yeah.
So you still see that a lot, and I'm not going to say bands don't do that,
Yeah.
but I'm saying you can notice that boy got a cold.
For sure. Dude, there's a video of T-Pain on, like, did a Tiny Desk session, and he sounds awesome. Like, with no auto-tune, like, just singing, like, really good. And I never knew he could actually sing.
Well, yeah, that was like there's a lot of interesting things like that. His style was, his concept and style was, like, people hated on it because it was new, and now look, everyone does it.
Innovative.
It was a game changer. That was meta as fuck.
Yeah,
it
totally
really was.
Changed everything.
And you know, it's kind of interesting. Like I like seeing when people like that have real talent. Like, there's nothing worse than finding out someone that you're really fond of or look up to musically isn't as musically gifted or didn't put as much time and effort into it as you wanted to think they did.
Yeah. That's the thing with music. Sometimes, like, it just is luck. And, like, I try not to get bitter, even though I totally am about most shit. But, like, you know, there's bands that aren't, like, great musicians, and I still like their music. I'm like, you know what? These songs are fun. Like, it's not about what you say. It's, like, how you say it. And if you're playing, like, fun music and it sounds cool, then whatever, you know?
I mean, that's all this is to me. I wouldn't do it if I didn't love doing it, and I absolutely love doing it.
Yeah.
So, like, you know, it's when you're still doing music, and I'm sure you get where I'm coming from with this, you start to see people around you moving on with their lives and, you know, getting married, having kids, and owning houses,
Yeah.
and all these things that you start to wonder, like, what if I wasn't doing music? Where would I be?
Yeah.
But you know, I have music. I chose this life, and I don't regret it at all. I do it because I absolutely love doing it, and that's all there is to it.
What else would we do? We'd be fucking lost.
I'm not sure what I would do if I didn't get into music. I'm not sure what I'd do if I never, like, got into the Brunswick scene in the first place. Like,
Yeah.
I'd probably never have taken music further or seriously, and I'm glad I did.
Yeah.
You know, you only live once. Do something you enjoy doing.
For
Like,
sure.
you know, it's like they teach you in art school that, like, it's almost like, hey, you're an artist now, but you know, don't overlook that coffee house job. You're gonna need that.
Yeah.
Like, you have to, like, you know, we all still have jobs.
Yeah.
We come home.
We're making it work.
We come home from tour. I've lost jobs for this band, indirectly, but you know, it happens.
Yeah.
You got it. You know,
It's a grind, but it's rewarding, I'd say. I'd say staying in your own lane with your music, which I think Echo Black does, and, you know, grinding it out and touring for 2 months. You hopefully, you know, it's the best tour you've done. I really hope it is.
thank you.
Yeah.
I'm nervous always, but really excited about it. I can't wait.
If you're listening to this, check out Echo Black and go see him on tour.
Is there anything else you want to add?
Oh, that's pretty much it. That's been great. Thank you
Awesome.
for having me.
Yeah. Thanks, Rob.
Take care.